Don't add any yet. Hi guys.
No one's gone there yet.
Just
I'll tell you, hold on, notify your followers.
Hi. Thank you guys for joining us on our first ever IG live.
Live is a lot of pressure, guys. Like, seriously, once put a time up, trying to keep to that time wasn't easy. But we're here now, and we wanted to talk actually for a little while about the topic's called Not Easy to Anger, but actually it's kind of along the topics of the angry black woman, or so we are always called, or always told, or always portrayed as, and it's kind of just getting behind why that's even a thing. Like, why do we have to put up with the term angry black woman or angry woman? And a lot of people might sort of associate that with feminism, but I think it's totally wrong. I think there's a way in which we have asserted ourselves, and actually we're standing up for a lot of things that are not talked about, are not highlighted, and just because we're having a voice, which, you know, who are we going to wait to speak for us, you know? And it's kind of...
It's even come about. I mean, the things that we've had to deal with through the decades and through the centuries, I think there's a lot of times that the lines are blurred between strong woman and angry black woman, so
to be honest with you, the circle that we move in, or the circles that we move in, we don't know any people who fit that description. So a lot of videos I've been watching recently that have been put out by men, hi, thanks for joining, have been put up by, you know, the other sex. I hear a lot of, you know, things are changing, but women need to do this, and women are acting like this. And it kind of, I'm thinking, what women do you know who are behaving like that? Because
they're blanket statements. So it's like us saying, you know, all men are this and all men are that, and that's nothing that either of us would ever do. So to kind of label all women as the angry woman or the angry black woman kind of just lumps us all together, and then to some extent it could actually make some women angry.
Yeah, I think it gets frustrating that we're always labelled in the same way. And as I said, I don't know many women who fit that category. I think I know a lot of women who sit down, discuss things, talk, you know, they can articulate themselves well, they are not afraid to express themselves. And I think a lot of people, not male or female, a lot of people have been hurt, and therefore they are responding to things in a way that they haven't dealt with whatever it is they've been through, and then they're dealing with that. And it's I think if you want to get into a relationship with someone, it's important to find out where they're coming from. Like, why are they angry then, instead of just kind of generalizing and say, I don't deal with certain women because, like, you know, I don't think anyone should generalize. I don't think we as women should generalize and say all men are narcissists or egotistical, because that's not true. And a lot of our brothers are actually waking up to a lot that's happening, a lot that has happened, and realize that sometimes the angriness is an assertiveness. Sometimes the angriness is the strength that we have, and we need to follow our things through, like seeing our sons, our husbands, our brothers go through some stuff. Like, obviously we can allow men to talk with us, and even if you're married, then for you, if that's the way you feel. But I think we should be able to defend our people. Like, this is a time in the world where so much is happening. Like, you know, the children in Nigeria, for example, what's happening with the youngsters there, and the protests that's happening. Like, the women in that community now need to speak up, not saying be angry, they need to speak up. And it's just
be supported really in speaking up.
Yeah,
everyone needs to sort of come together. This is most definitely the time where we actually need to come together.
And I do actually think that we need to, I think in your house, in your home, it's different. In your home, you need to be able to express yourself in a way that isn't in a tone that's aggressive, and if it is, check yourself. If you're dealing with someone like that, speak to them and ask them without being patronizing. Like, you know, ask them what it is that makes them feel defensive, or what makes them feel they have to do things alone, or, you know, there's often a reason why people are angry. People are not angry for no reason at all. And I just think young women growing up, I mean, if you're on our page and you've seen a lot of the things we posted in the last day, I would say, just about like when my daughter was growing up and stuff, like, our girls don't need to see that, and our boys don't need to think that any black women they date, any women of colour that they're interested in, they've got to have their backup and they've got to be. No, I think if we both as men see what your role should be as an alpha male, and how you're going to lead your relationship and lead your family, and then as a female, as a woman, think about how you're going to do that, how you're going to support your men, how you're going to support your children, how you're going to support your community in a way that allows the man to lead.
Yeah, basically there's a huge difference between a man in the house and a man of the house. In order for you to somewhat want your partner, female, whatever you have in your life, to be somewhat submissive, you need to give her that backbone, as in you need to be the backbone. You need to be the head of the table or head of the family. She needs to be able to rely on you. For her to even be somewhat submissive, for her to lean on you, you need to give her some kind of stability, some kind of structure, and that you are a leader.
Definitely. And there's no, submissive does not mean that you are a doormat.
No.
Submissive means that you allow the men to lead the family. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is all powerful. And if you're trying, you're in a relationship and you're working on it and you're not there yet, just keep going. It does take a long time, because we've been mistaught and we've learned the ways that are not right. Not everybody. Some people have been fortunate enough to learn from men and women elder than us, and they've taken on some of those gems of wisdom, and then they've carried it through. But a lot of us, there's a large majority of us who did not have those examples, and we're figuring it out. But, you know, please join in the conversation. We want to know what you think about this. You know, I've seen a lot of memes and posts as well that are kind of like, submissive is weakness, and they don't, you know, women don't, you don't want to be submissive. That's fair enough. But those same people, if you do want to have a partner, have a husband, and have your family with someone who's being there and you're working together, there's going to be an element of more than compromise, to be honest. If you're a female, there's going to be an element of you have different roles. And I know when I was first in my relationship, a lot of people said, oh, you know, 50-50, and I did have the ideal that things are 50-50. But at the end of the day, when you have children, you're a mum. You're mum. Dads are some, you have some really great hands-on dads, you know, get really involved with everything. But at the end of the day, mum, if your children are ill, they're going to call for mum. You know, so I just suggest that you do a lot of work on really elevating your feminine side. And I think men really fix up and understand the role of as an alpha male, and allow your woman, if you're with someone or you're thinking of being with someone, allow them to be in their ultimate feminine. You have to be in your ultimate masculine, and you have a balance within. Everyone has a balance within them, but that's the main goal actually, is if you want to be your most feminine and you want your woman to be in her most feminine, then you've got to step up and be in your masculine and be that alpha male, because that's what maintains a relationship, and that's what's going to keep you both going. It's having clear roles, not this confusion business that's what's gone in on the TV and what they're trying to show us. So
it's a lot about unlearning a lot of what you've learned, basically, and sort of relearning.
And if you've had to be in a position where you've had to be the man and woman in your household, we get it. You know, we understand. But at the end of the day, if you're forming a new relationship and you want someone to come in and lead with you and then lead your family and take you forward, then you've got to do some work on, this was my role because I had to defend my children. There wasn't anyone there. You know, I was aunt, uncle, to my family members. Fair enough. But then if you are the same person that says, you know what, I want something new, or I've realised that I do want to be in a relationship. If you don't, you don't. But if you do, I'm just saying that these are things you need to think about. Like, if you want the thing to click, if you want it to work, you've got to be in your most feminine, and then you've got to allow your man to be in his masculine and lead. And I've heard a lot of guys now trying to understand what their role is. Like, I was watching a podcast I shared with you as well. It's excellent, actually. It's Roommates. I don't know if anyone's caught it, but it's worth having a look into, because it's a guy, you know, he's doing his thing in Atlanta, and he just is teaching guys, lots of guys sharing their information. I think his podcast is called Things You to Know About Women That Your Big Brother should have taught you.
Okay.
Because a lot of men don't have those role models to have said, you know what, this is what women do, this is how they feel, this is the response you should have in this scenario. Hi Liz, what's up? But I think it's important for men to do the work as well, and then we can meet here, because it's no point doing a little generalization and saying, you know, we're not going to get anywhere if we're just pushing men in a corner and saying, I can't stand men because I can't stand women because they've got issues with this, and you'll never make them happy, and we can make each other happy. Like, we know that you can find someone who makes you happy. And I think along that, I think we've done a show before saying to have the conversation about parenting before you become a parent, and it's the same thing with relationships. Have the conversation with your partner about what you feel is your role in a relationship. Like, don't be scared of the conversations, because they're gonna make for great relationships.
Like, you might be in one relationship where you're sort of more independent, where you're sort of doing more. You go into another relationship, and actually that's what you're carrying with you, and actually that new partner might want you to do less, so you can't always carry your experiences through. You need to kind of,
but you can't guess. Like, no one can guess. You have to have these kind of open conversations. And it goes back to, I think, if you've seen you know, we put out posts about going live today, and we put a list of things here, and it was, one of them was being equally yoked, and some people might see that as a fairly Christian thing to say, but when we were discussing what equally yoked mean, it actually just means that having the discussion on certain issues that are going to come up, because believe you me, marriage won't solve your problems. Marriage will highlight the problems you have as an individual. That's what it will do.
Or even having children, having another child or more children doesn't necessarily
or
solve
living
anything.
with someone. Living with someone will then tell you about yourself, because it's what you tolerate, what you put up with. But you've got to have these conversations about what we believe, what you think about eating out, staying up, takeaway, you know, everything, like literally everything. And I'm not saying you have to agree, because it will be very boring if you and your partner agreed on absolutely everything, but you have to be able to talk about absolutely everything. And that's the key. And just the morals, your basic morals is what you need to definitely agree on. That there's
equally yoked on that
equally
sort of thing.
yoked
How
on
you see the world,
how you see your
outlook,
family,
how you deal with finances, how you wish to sort of raise children, the basic fundamentals of growing and going forward as a union.
Definitely. And I think a lot of things that come up in couples and in relationships is family. Do you put your family before the family you're creating? That can be very detrimental to relationships. And where do your family come in? Like, if I have an uncle and he wants to stay in my house for X amount of months, like these are things that are going to come up. And I think you should have this conversation saying, you know, is this something you agree on? How far would you go in this kind of, for this issue? So you need to find out what you agree on and what you disagree on, and then just hash it out, because there's no point waiting until the problems arise then to be like, oh,
we don't agree on anything, i.e. we don't see eye to eye on anything.
Who is this I'm living with? Do you know what I mean? Because then it's not nice. And you've gone so far, like I don't think any of us out here are wasting anyone's time, to be honest with you. And I think you know, the more long in the tooth you are getting, on the teeth you're getting, is the less time you have to like waste. And if you want something good, you want something to hold on to, have the conversations, and just realize and understand the things you hold dearly to you. Like, what is your moral compass? you know, and then if your partner fits in with that and agrees with that, then you can hi Dee, thanks for joining. Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming on. We were hella nervous when we started, but we kind of, once we start chatting, as you know how we do, we kind of just get away with the topic. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, for supporting us on our YouTube channel as well, you know, growing. We're doing this to just help youngsters coming up, help everybody to kind of just think, I can have another go at this, or I can try this, and this is you know, people can accomplish.
Yeah, it's a bit of an eye opener as well. Just knowing that you're deserving of self-love, you're deserving of the kind of love that you want. There's nothing selfish in wanting the same love and sort of care and attention that you give to others. You are deserving of that as well. And sometimes just having these discussions open your eyes and start the conversations of what you're deserving of. So,
Definitely.
yeah. Sort of know your worth, and I think that's a lot of the stuff we talk about, knowing your worth, healing, so you're in a better place, to sort of see somebody on a level, as opposed to seeing them through your traumas.
Yeah, and definitely. I think have these conversations, take time to get to know the person you're with. I think even people who set out to lie and to manipulate or to get you into bed, or you know, or to use you in some sort of way, whatever way that is, they can only put on that mask and that face for so long.
Yeah.
So don't let anyone rush you into anything, and if you feel any kind of intuition about this person, just wait. You know, things will reveal themselves, and all things done in dark will come to light. So there are sadly a lot of people out there that kind of try and entrap people for whatever reason. I would say stay clear of those people,
mind games
but
and stuff like
you
that.
obviously don't know they're those people. It takes time for those people to start just revealing themselves, and as I said, they can only do it for so long, because it's actually them that end up revealing themselves. Just let them, as my mum and dad would say, give them the rope and they're gonna hang themselves, because that's what happens. But you let it, don't let other people change you, don't let people let you become bitter, because then people, oh, see, there you go, you know, that, oh, there they are, you know, it's expected for us to be angry and for us to be mad. And as I said, I don't move in any circles where I know any angry black women. So like, think about it before you say that about someone, before you generalize a whole people about how they act, and you don't know where it is they're coming from and what they've been through. There are reasons why people respond to life in certain ways. If you've had a perfect upbringing, you've had everything given to you, education comes easy, you don't have to work hard, you can study, and you know, then you're not going to be frustrated about anything. But actually, if you've lived and you've had hardship and you've had to go through and jump over hurdles and go through struggles, you're going to be a warrior, and that's what it comes across as. And some people are scared of the warrior.
Yes, sometimes you need to do a little bit more work to pull down that armor. Then basically, it's not that person who's been through so much and who is a warrior will always have their armor on forever. You just need to give them the right kind of love that they're asking for, and a lot of times they're not asking for much.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree with everything you've just said. And I said a lot of times there are women who they show more alpha qualities, and that's fine. They're going to meet the person who understands that about them and who's willing to be in it together with them, and just wait for that person. Like, I don't think it's ever too late. I don't think people have had this relationship or that relationship. I think your person is out there for you, and the more personal development and the more personal growth, the more you invest in you, that right person will come, because you won't have any of it. I think when I was younger, or there's just certain things I wouldn't speak on or I tolerate. Now I know who I am, I value me, I know what I bring to the table. And as a meme I put up last week is, if you know what you bring to the table, don't get treated like a napkin. And you know, there's no time for the silverware now, you know. A tall glass of wine and crystal, you know. So know your worth, and then you'll attract that person. Believe me, put out positive vibes and you'll attract that person. There's a lot of negativity being thrown out here, and
a lot of negative energy, a lot of
actually
lower vibrations going on.
The other night they had the Samuel L. Jackson series enslavement.
Okay.
Then after, I was trying to catch it, I think it was the repeat of it. And then, so I was trying to catch it. Someone had texted me, my mom actually texted me and said, oh, have you seen it? Catch up with it. So I kind of was watching it. I watched the first part intensely, but this one I kind of had it on, and I thought, then after, like some time afterwards, I think it was on the same channel, I was watching a film called Detroit. Now, I know it's a real true story, and I know it's loads of people have seen it and said watch it before, but it made I didn't realize it was on. I didn't watch it like from the start, but as I started this film just made me feel so riled up. And then I was speaking to my partner and I said, do you know what it is? Yeah, I think these films, it's good that someone has made them so the truth is outed and the true thing happened. But I'm starting to just feel like the image hi Mish, hi Cars. I think the image of the black man's face on the floor and a white man with a weapon or on top of him, it's the image that sticks with us long after we've remembered the film, long after we remembered the storyline, the fact that it was a true story where it happened. It's that image played on that position, but like they're on top of us, whether it's their knee, their leg, their hand, their gun, their sword, you know what I mean? It's them oppressing us, and that's the image that's perpetuated again. And I'm actually tired. I'm not watching all of those movies anymore, because who made these movies? And why do we want to see some uplifting stuff now, guys? We want to see it from us down here doing the groundwork. We see it from you, because we can. We're beautiful people, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do it despite of how people are trying to hold us down. We're going to do it in spite of that, despite how many slavery films they want to show us, despite how many shackles and chains they want to show us. We're going to do it, and we're going to do it, and we're going to be joyful in it, regardless of what's going on right now in this world that they're trying to just numb down and put a negative out on this.
It's about wearing down the spirit. It's about wearing down the vibrations, wearing down everyone's energy, keeping everyone in a state of fear and panic. And you have to see through that and still maintain your vibration, still maintain a positive. No one's saying smile all the time, be happy, dancing all the time, but you have to make a conscious effort, like every day, to be in a better place emotionally. Even if you're somewhere physically that you don't want to be, but mentally and emotionally, you have to make an agreement with yourself to be in a better place.
Definitely. I just think, I was saying the other day, like I said, this year, imagine I haven't been to watch a movie. I know you are all in the same boat. I know it's not just me, but I'm just talking on behalf. I said, imagine I haven't watched a movie, hadn't gone to a concert, haven't gone to a wine bar, haven't shaked my leg nowhere, haven't said, oh Shah, let's go out for a drink, let's meet up with whoever, whatever, and go out for a drink, for nearly a whole year. Like, I'm not a raver. I will never say that. But once in a while, you want to go out. But you don't realise, like, month in, month out, we've literally been sitting in our yards, not doing anything. And you just got to be so conscious of your vibration being lowered, and just sometimes be in your house, yes, pour a drink, yes, and dance. Seriously, exercise, run, swim, Cars, do it. You have to keep it going. You have to be you, regardless of what's going on. Find the things you can do in your house with just your household, with just you. If it's just you, find the radio station and the DJs are still playing, the one that you put on every
the music that
Saturday
makes you and your kids laugh
every
and
Friday
dance.
night. Do it, because it's kind of to wear us down. And going back to the name of the topic is, this negativity that's put on us, like we're losing our jobs, you know, things are happening to people, but us being like down here in society, we have to be conscious of that. Don't lash out on other people. Turn it around, as my sister always says. Transmute your negative energy into positive. Switch it up, like really switch it up. You're gonna have down days, but as we always say, turn it around. Don't stay down there too long. We don't have time for staying down there too long. We've got work to do. The heartbeat of the world starts and
obviously, as we know, it's the darker seasons now, autumn going into winter, wet seasons, rain, all of that. Just take extra time for you. The evenings are going to be longer and a bit darker. More self-care, more self-love, pamper yourself, get your duvet, watch TV, just do stuff to pour that love into you. Don't allow the elements outside on top of what's kind of being portrayed through the media to weigh you down. You have to find what works for you to get back up.
No, don't laugh. Yesterday, I forced my son to watch Desmond's with me just because I got home.
Let me just look at you. Let me just look at you. How many episodes did you get through
About
before?
4, and then he left me watching them. But I just
would've
needed
left
to
you too.
laugh. I needed to laugh, and I thought, do you know what? It's the old school programs that used to just burn me up. It was so, what's the word? It was like rubbish.
Matthew and pork pie, yeah?
But it had me laughing, and that's just what I needed to do. Honestly, like after all the stresses at work, you're cleaning everything 60 billion times a day. You know, you come home, you have to do all the chores. Still, you've got to do more cleaning. I just thought, no, you know, I need something that's going to make me laugh. And luckily, we have access to things on the TV. We don't have to wait for it to be put out. We can go on the internet and we can watch what we like. We can listen to what we like. So do that. Do you take some time for you, and take some time to, even if you're Zooming your girlfriends, you're Zooming your guys, you know, you've all got a drink in the hand on the other side of the phone. You know, the internet, let's use it for a good tool to look up. Sorry, I cry when I laugh.
But obviously, given what's going on today or what happened yesterday in Nigeria with the protesters you spoke about at the beginning of the topic, we're not saying ignore what's going on in the world. Just learn to have a filter on yourself. You do not have to absorb or take on everything you see and everything you hear, even if people share things with you all the time.
See, Steve's watching Desmond's now. You know this. Sorry,
You don't
I just took something really serious and made fun. I didn't mean that. But go on,
but yeah, you don't have to open every post that you're sent, every link that you're sent. Be aware of what's going on in the world. Be empathetic, show care, show consideration. Obviously, we're all sending prayers out to the Lekki protesters and those in Nigeria and the families. But
no, there's a place. There's a place,
kind of switch off,
Yeah.
or know when to switch off. Then know when
Look
it's
at the
unhealthy
news
and that
at a
it's
certain
wearing
point
you
of
down.
the day. You know, read the news. Like, we're very aware of what happens in the world every day, but we don't. There was a time, to be honest, when my husband used to have Russia Today,
Al Jazeera,
CNN,
probably.
Al Jazeera, Sky News on a roll. Like, he just watched one from the other, one from the other, and I got to a stage where I couldn't even sit in the room. And then I discussed with him what that does to you if you do that. Like, it's not a matter of being informed, because the news is just spinning anyway, and if there's breaking news that happens, your phone bips and tells you. So it's not about being uninformed. You need to be informed. You need to know what's going on in the world, but you have to compartmentalize what you're receiving,
and be careful what you get pulled into every day. Be conscious. When I wake up, Facebook is not the first thing I go on to, but be conscious. You can always see which story is there to pull people's energy for the day, and out come the memes, out come the sharing and the resharing and the graphic pictures and the news stories. And it's like when it snows, you don't have to say it snows on Facebook for people to know that it's snowing. Some things are worthy of sharing and other things are not, because actually you're just sharing the negativity and the turmoil as opposed to being informed. How is it helping any of the relatives or the families in Nigeria to be sharing certain images?
No, definitely. So we
just be
as Charlie
careful
said,
what you're being pulled into every day. Know what's going on, but don't have your energy sucked into things. Don't buy into the sharing of the memes and all of that. That's where half your energy then goes for that day.
So we hope you have a great rest of the week. We probably went off topic because this is live, and it's live, like it says it all.
And once we start talking, we don't stop.
We hope to do another one again. So stay tuned. We thank you so much for coming and just taking a look at what we're doing, and for your continued support over on YouTube. We thank you so much, guys. It's been so great just putting ourselves out here and having a response that's been so good. And we're trying to discuss the things that you ask about, the things that you might be going through. You know, time to time people phone us up and say, this is what I'm going through, please can you speak on this? And all I can say is that we're not professional counsellors, we're not professional therapists, we've just got some experience, you know, not all the experience but some, and age, wisdom can count for some, experience counts for the most part. So we love sharing with you.
We love checking in with you and making sure you guys are actually okay with everything that's going on in the world.
Don't make the people then rile you up and make you angry. Like, seriously, stay calm, stay in your feminine, show love, be light. And from Sister Sis Live, we love ya. Bye. Take care, everyone. See you next time. Bye.